Well, good morning. It's Shannon. As promised, I'm going to get some video recordings out. So, those of you that have subscribed, at least maybe I can hold your subscriptions for a while and start talking to you and start producing some videos, right? Um, Again, my name's Shannon. It's Tuesday morning. I'm going to try to keep this short. I'll probably burn up the minutes. I can be so long-winded, but I do like to share, and we'll just see what comes out of my mouth today. I just really don't have anything specifically I want to talk about right off the bat. I said originally that I was going to do a couple of just open videos, just get in front of the camera and start recording and just see where my thoughts go and help me get a little complacent here with what I'm doing and sharing with you all. So, uh, real quickly, a little insight on me. You can see I am uh, an older transsexual. I hope that doesn't play negatively toward your interest in my videos. Please don't let that. I have a lot to share, and I look forward to doing it. And it just because I'm old doesn't mean I don't have something good to share. But anyhow, I wanted to talk more about where I am right now as far as transition goes. Um, Being I'm an older trans girl, um, and have made the decision or the just finally to come out and transition, it took me a great number of years to do this and to come to that point and to actually go forward with professional help. And I'll talk about that because I think it will help a lot of other folks that are 30s, 40s, 50s, and maybe even into their 60s and considering transitioning, because I know that they talk themselves out of it because they feel they're too old. Um, but we'll get into that. I'm 10 months into my hormone replacement therapy. Okay? So, I truly feel and believe in myself, and my journey has begun. It began a long time ago, but with the assistance of the medical profession, my doctors and therapists, um, I feel it's going to get better all the time. It only has room for improvement, right? And I think for a person like myself, I feel good about myself. I think I look pretty good for my age, and I have potential to look attractive to a certain degree. I know by any sense of the word, I'm never going to be a beautiful fashion model beauty queen, and you cannot have that mentality, and expect those kinds of results at such a late stage in your life in transition. It's just not going to happen. Um, it's about feminization, but more importantly, the whole transition process is a corrective therapy. And people, I think obviously most trans folk understand that, but they had better before they make the decision to transition, because it's we're correcting ourselves. There's always been something wrong with us. We weren't able to put a finger on it for one reason or another. It took some of us much longer than others, and I have a lot to say about that in my personal case, why I didn't transition until now. There's so many circumstances and legitimate reasons that I feel, because I have a lot of regrets. I regret it not doing what you girls are doing today in your pre-adolescence, teens, young adults. I wish I could do it all over. Of course, there's so many things in life we all wish we could do over. And transition for me right now is paramount in that thought pattern. I can't do it over. And so what I have to work with, I have to accept, and it's never going to go away. That's another thing I want to surface with, even if you're watching this video, you folks out there 30s, 40s, 50s, and maybe older, considering transition in your life. And not doing it because you think you're too old, or that it can't happen for you, the circumstances, because of the way your lives are so concrete, so structured in the way you've lived your whole life. And now you're going to come out to family, friends, loved ones, employers, and the world and say, I've always been a transsexual. Well, you have. And for whatever reasons, you've suppressed that, you've closeted it, you've been challenged with it time and time again. Circumstances just surmount, and it gets to the point where you have to act, you have to do something about it. You have to become proactive and move forward. You have to correct what's wrong. It's troubling. It's psychologically damaging. It's gender identity disorder. And it really starts to make so much more sense when you seek professional help and get the resources that are out there today, the technology today, and utilize it, and you'll finally start nurturing an acceptance of yourself. And I say this about the older folks because I know what it was like growing up in the early 60s, all through the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and then into the 90s. Things, believe it or not, started to get a little more liberated in the latter part of, I feel, the 80s and into the 90s, and then now into the 20th century. It's still a huge negative oppression against us all, but girls, boys, it's nothing like it was when I was a teenager, when I was a young adult, when I had struggles with my gender identity 40 years ago. Can you rewind your clock 40 years? Take a look back in time at what the society was like, your personal, your environment, not just society as a whole, but your lifestyle and where you grew up and in your neighborhoods, and the way they looked at something like a transition, a transsexual. Come on. Homosexuals were taboo. Lesbians were taboo. They were freaks even then. And you want to talk about a transsexual in the 1960s? Yeah, they were there. They've been there for hundreds and thousands of years, but not in the numbers that they are today. There's power in numbers, and we do need power. It's not all we need, but power is good. Power is something, it will gain us support, more and more support. The more powerful we become, the more support we're going to be able to obtain. And just acknowledging this fact, the younger generation, you young girls out there, and I'm not criticizing, I'm never in my videos criticizing. Please don't look at that or take it personally that I'm criticizing any one of you specifically, or targeting any particular nationality or age group or gender, male, female, transsexual, whatever, homosexual, the whole thing. That's not where I am. I'm a very liberated, open person that has challenges herself, many of them